Okay, so this is going to be a recording for doing Age of Sigmar on TTS. So this is the main menu. I'm just going to hit create, single. These are the three mods I recommend. This is the primary table mod. I usually use this one for pretty much all the models. It also has the index cards as well. And then this mod pretty much has like it has all the models, but it also has the endless spells. So I'll use this specifically for the endless spells. So starting with this one first, actually, just so I can save my endless spells. So this is what this table looks like. I'm just going to click load models for the endless spells down here. And now we have all the endless spells. So I recommend going to each one, right? And then you highlight and then you right click and hit save object. And then save them as, Morbid Conjuration. And then just whatever, Crown Spine, the Primal, whatever you want to save, go ahead and just save them here. And then you'll pretty much be done with this area. Once an object is saved, it's actually appear in objects, saved objects. These are all the objects that you have saved. So you can see like Morbid Conjuration, I already have this. So if I want to pull this out, boom, there they are. So recommend starting with that, get all the endless spells saved, or at least the ones you care about. Now these are the generic ones. The ones that are faction specific, we can find them in the other mod. So to load the other one, I'm going to hit games. I'm going to go to Malkovich, load. And here we are. So in this one, it has bags and the index cards, right? So the index cards, same thing. You can right click, hit save object, type in what you're going to name it as, and then you can save the index specifically. But it's going to save the whole thing. Once you have them on the table, you can deal cards off, right? Find the ones you care about, or you can alternately right click, hit search, and then you can see them this way, and then just pull out the ones you want. So what I typically do is I'll pull out the ones I need for a list, and then I'll organize them in a certain way. And then I'll just save it all as one object. But you can do it how you want. But essentially this idea of saving objects is how we work with everything. So like this is the bag for FEC, right? So I can save the whole bag, save object, and it'll save this bag. And if I start pulling stuff out of the bag, I start pulling in models. Or you can also right click, hit search, and then now these are actually names, so you can find the models you need and then pull them out. I need these 3 crypt flayers. There you go, right? Now I have these 3 crypt flayers. When I've have them all selected, I can pick them all up together. You'll notice that there's a measuring tool, right? If for whatever reason it's not working for you, right click the model, go to toggles, and just make sure this measure movement is checked on. The game does lag, so if you're ever in a situation where you're kind of stuck in this, you're like, wait, I'm just measuring. I can't pick anything up. Just click this left hand, or say this hand up here, the top left, and then you'll be able to select items again. As a quick hotkey for measuring, you just hold tab. So you'll start at the point you're measuring from, and then wherever you're going to measure to. When you have multiple items selected, you can press different numbers to put them in that number of rows. So like in this case, if I want to have this in 2 rows, I would just press 2, right? And it does its best to do 2. So in this case, let's say I need 6, so I'm going to highlight them all, hit Control-C, Control-V, copy-paste, right? Okay, now I have 6. I'm going to highlight the 6, and I'm going to press 2. There you go. There's the 2 rows, 3 rows, and then 1 row, 2 row, whatever, right? It all just depends on how many models you have. If you want to differentiate them, one of the things I like to do is make it so I know what's in each regiment. You can also put a color tint, right? So you can right click, go to color tint, give them a color. You do have to have them all selected. So let's move these guys over here, right? And then, let's say I'm going to put them in the red regiment. Boom. There you go. Another basis red. That's just a nice little visual indicator. Some people like to do it for their honor guard. They say, okay, I have these bolt boys and these bolt boys. The ones that are pink are the ones that are the honor guard type deal, right? So it's a way to differentiate them. Once you have them, all your models selected, you would just highlight them all, right click, save object. So like in this case, I already have this list that I just made, right? So here are all these models. You can see that it's going to take a second to load, and some of these models are going to end up off the table because I didn't place them very well. Eventually. There they go, and there those models go. Oh, bye-bye. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so endless spells are in here as well. So if they're faction specific, I can go search and then, whatever. I don't know what these are called, but here's the faction terrain. Cello, I think that's one. What have you, right? So you can just take out what you need and save it appropriately. Once you have everything saved, you can go over to games and go to the table, right? So this is where we're actually going to play the match. It's going to load up this big table. For you, when you first start off, if you're creating the game, this is what it's going to look like. If you're joining a game, which we'll go over that real quick, actually. So if we go main menu. If I go create, I'm going to hit multiplayer. So you just put a name, a password, max number of players. So if you're creating a game, you let them know the name and the password so they can join in. And then you create the server, right? So then you would create it with the table. So then they would just join in, and then when they join in, they would just have to pick a color. Doesn't matter. And then, then they'd be able to see the table as well, right? So real quick, going into how do you load your stuff, right? So if I hit objects, saved object, right? And then I'm going to drop FEC1 over here. Loading. Oh, 34%. Loading. It's probably running slower than normal because I'm recording a video, but normally it's not too bad. And there we are. Those are all my models, right? Like I said, you can also pull out your index here, right? So I can put this out here and then, go through it, be like, this is what I need, whatever, right? Like I said, normally I'll pull out what I need and then I'll save it as one object together. So as an example of that, let's do like one. This is like the list I took for the RTT, right? So here's all the cards I need. So I'll move them neatly right there. Here are my models. Here's my faction terrain. And then the only thing else that I need to load in is my endless spells. And those there they are, right? So then there's everything I need, right? So this is how I like to do it. Now, as far as like actually looking at the game board,